This is definitely the most unique tent system that I've ever seen. It's exactly what you would think a tarp and a tent mixed would create. This is the Solo Skyshade Tar Tent, and I want to thank Onewind for sponsoring this video. This is an honest review. They do not give me any guidelines for these videos. Now, the main feature of this product is its capability to adapt to all conditions. Now, I do say this very often, but this tent just raised the bar. It can be set into all sorts of modes like canopy, low mode, floor mode, with or without the mesh. You could have one door open, two doors open, or have it fully enclosed. You guys have so many options to choose from. You can remove the mesh or even the rainfly itself. This tent covers all comfort in 3 seasons, making it an all-in-one tar tent. Now, this tar tent even has an adjustable window curtain in order to dim the lights or keep out any unwanted weather. There is also a small vent at the foot end of the tent and an interior hook. There are 2-way zippers, Velcro, and door locks in order to keep the wind and rain out from bothering you. Finally, there is an inner pocket to hold all of your belongings. And finally, it all packs down into this small carrying bag, and the total dimensions of it are 15 inches on the length and 5.5 inches on the diameter. The total weight of this product is 2.7 pounds or 1.22 kilograms. The total dimensions of the Skyshade come out to 90.5 inches long or 35.5 inches wide. At the highest peak, it comes out to 39 3/8 of an inch. Now, the tent floor is made of 40D ripstop nylon with a waterproof rating of 5,000 millimeters. Now, the rest of the rainfly and canopy are made of a sil nylon in order to keep it much more lightweight, and the waterproofing rating of that is 3,000 millimeters. So getting into the setup of this tent, on the very back side of the carrying bag, it does have these small compression straps. So inside the carrying bag has another bag which does have 2 guideline straps and a total of 8 stakes. It also has a carrying bag for the 3 extra poles to hold up the frame of the tent. And finally, we got the tent itself. And now that you got the frame all together, you can go ahead and add the tent stakes in. When staking this out, I personally start off staking out the back side that has the window. It does have these nice adjustable tie-out points, which makes it very easy. So at the foot end of this tent right here, it does have a bracing bar in between just to keep it much more sturdy and suspended at the foot end of the tent. Once you get the first stake at the foot end tied down and secured, all you want to do, you guys want to spread the entire system apart and make sure these are both on angles. And the reason why you want these spread apart is just so that way the very front side does have an opening for the vent and it doesn't collapse in the middle. Now, these tensioners are really easy to use, and here's how you use them. So this is the tensioner piece. All you do is just pull this back as far as you can until it tightens, and it binds and bites on itself with the teeth here. So that way you can easily and quickly adjust the tension. So when setting up the frame of this tent, make sure you guys put in the vertical poles in first, and the second one would be the horizontal one, which goes in a U shape along here. And the reason because of that is just because I found it is much harder and more difficult to set up the vertical poles and get them inside of the grommets, as it is under a lot of tension, but this material is quite durable, so you don't have to worry about it ripping. Always stretch as much loose material down the pole just to give you that much more leeway when you are connecting the frame to the tent itself. On each door, these are the door locks. All you gotta do, tuck it behind that material and it pops out. Just add it to this loop. Keeps a little bit more tension on the bottom of the tent in winds. You guys can tell that is definitely high quality Velcro attachments. Can add that guy line just to add a little bit more tension in the middle, just so that way no rain pours or pools in the middle of the tent as it is suspended. Now these got bungee shock cord already attached to them, which you can add which you can add an additional stake to, but I personally like reusing all of my stakes. Now, it will take away the total amount of resistance they can have, as you'll be doubling down on one stake. So if you are worried about the winds, add a second stake. If not, just reuse them to save your time. Each side of the tent has 2 zippers for both the outer rainfly and the mesh material itself. Now, if it's a night where you want to remove the rainfly, all you do is zip it off one end. You could go ahead and just tuck it in the very back. Now keep in mind, this does not fully remove. It is always still attached by the zippers. You cannot detach the zippers, which is good because I do find it quite annoying when you do have to re-put on the zipper in order to attach it to another system, just because sometimes they can be quite finicky, and especially in the cold, it's a pain. Now, if you didn't want the mesh, you do the exact same thing. But once you remove the mesh, there is an inner pocket which you can tuck the mesh into the rainfly itself. You could even grab sticks or trekking poles to set it into low canopy mode, or even a high canopy mode, so that way you could sit underneath the tarp. As for the orange guy lines, you could simply hook it to these door locks right here. And the best part about staking these out is that you have lots of headspace. So if it was raining a bit, or you just wanted to stay out of the shade of the sun, you guys can set up your cookware and cook without having to worry about, without burning the top of the tent or having to exit it just to make your food. Now, of course, you have to preset this up, so you do have to get outside of the tent. In certain situations, this would definitely be amazing. Now, if you didn't want the floor for any reason, you can just easily fold it up to the interior of the tent. So that way you can have just a small seating space. Up top, you got a hook for a lantern or anything you would like to hang. And on each side, there is a zipper to undo the curtain so you can see outdoors. Now, you guys may not be able to see it, but there indeed is a mosquito net right there, 1600 holes per square inch. So with the design of this curtain, it most definitely will stop any rain from entering within the tarp from coming down. But if you guys have a major storm, or you're even on the side of a cliff or anything, do keep in mind that water can go up the tarp and inside. So if you guys do have any major storm with tons of wind, this could open up, which you can tie this down with a guy line closer to the ground. But do keep in mind that in a big storm, rain could come up here and enter inside of your tent. So just keep in mind how you set up your tent during the night in case there is a storm. Now, looking at the taped seams, it is very good. Like, you guys can't see any liftage along the sides. Same thing in the corners. There might be a little bit of liftage here and a little bit just at the entry point of the zipper, but that's nothing to worry about. So in every review, I always like to show you just how to fold everything up, just because I know how annoying it could be just trying to figure it out. What you want to do, fold it in 3. So you got 1, 2 folds, third and final fold back towards us. Now, what I always do is always use the carrying bag as a measuring tool. So that way you know if it's wide enough that it will be fitting inside of here. Now, that is the foot end. We want to start folding from the head end of the tent, just because all of the air, this is the best part about having foot vents, all of the air will easily escape out of the foot vent when packing up. So make sure you guys are doing tight folds. It's very simple and easy to pack inside of its carrying bag. And that's something that's great about Onewind. Quite a few of their products, many of their products are not difficult to get into the bags. A lot of companies, they save on material by making the carrying bag smaller, and it makes it much more compact. But Onewind gives you a little bit extra room on the carrying bags. That way you don't struggle when your hands are freezing cold, it's the middle of the night or raining. It's not super difficult to pack it inside of the bag. So who do I think this product is for? This would be one to definitely impress people if you do take it on a hike, just because me personally, I have never seen anything like it. And even looking after I found out about this product, I couldn't even find anything like it. So it is definitely very unique and relatively a good price for the value that it brings. You can do all sorts of conversions. That way, if it is super hot outside, you can air it out very nicely and still be protected from the wind or mosquitoes in many different conversions. If you do like ample room in the headspace and you want a nice canopy to look at the view in front of you, and you just want to maybe take someone on a date, then this would probably be the one to impress someone. But do keep in mind, this is a one-person tent and they do not have a two-person tent in this. If you are a smaller person, then you could fit 2 people, but it would be a bit of a squish. Now this tent, it has so many different conversions. I did make a review on another tent that was much more minimalistic to this and cheaper. Now the total cost of this product comes out to 220 Canadian dollars or 159 US dollars. Onewind has all sorts of tents, tarps, hammocks, and camping gear that is high quality for budget prices. I do many gear reviews on them and other products, so definitely check out the rest of my channel to see what else there is in store.